All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're about to take a look at a clip from the Bill Maher show. And in this particular segment of it, he's asking, why don't more black celebrities, more black people take issue with the crime committed from black people on the black people, which make up the larger, overwhelming percentage of the crime done to black people? Why don't they have more of an issue with that than they have with white cops, for example, mistreating or harming black people? And, this is viewed as a conservative talking point, which it really shouldn't be. I mean, if it's an issue, we should talk about it, right? That's how I feel. And that's how, many conservative people do feel. But, for talking points like this, they try to label Bill Maher as a conservative, label him as a racist, which is really a shame that you can't even have this conversation without having some label slapped on you. But we're about to get into this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we're watching. Now let's roll it.
Like Chicago, like most of the shootings are young black men killing other young black men. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay,
much more than what the cops do. Why doesn't anybody talk about that? Well, I mean, why aren't there, 100 giant black celebrities who would have the respect of those people saying, what are you doing to yourselves? Why are you killing each other?
This is no way to live.
If they put that same energy into the issue of black on black crime, you will see more black people's lives be positively affected, because based on the numbers that you can see, there are more black people negatively affecting black people's lives than there are white people, especially when it comes to crime stats. And dealing with the issues that lead to black on black crime, in my opinion, could even help to mitigate the white on black crime, or at least what we see from police to black people, because if black people aren't committing as many crimes as they are, we wouldn't be profiled and racially profiled as much as we are. But the reality is when you have 13% of the population committing most of the crime and the violent crime, that's the reason why we are profiled. So if we were able to reduce these numbers and combat those issues, I think that would be a much more positive impact on the black community as a whole. But unfortunately, it's a much more difficult topic to speak about than white on black injustice. It's not nearly as profitable to speak about as white on black injustice. It's riskier to talk about than white on black injustice. And lastly, we have a thing in the black community where it's almost like we safeguard, due to like the no snitching type of policy, and just the threat of backlash, the threat of actual violence being brought onto you if you live in a community where you have a lot of gang activity and shootings and stuff like that. People don't want to talk about those things, and it's messed up because due to rap music and the culture, so to speak, popular culture in the black community, we see things like crime and drugs and gangbanging and violence, and that stuff is almost lifted up and praised in a way. We love rap music despite all of the negative things that it promotes. Like, let's just look at Young Thug, for example, a rapper who is in jail. He has a court case going on right now. Him and his gang got locked up on RICO charges. And you got many people, not all, obviously not all people agree with what, he promotes and what he does. But you got many people talking about free Young Thug, despite all of, like I said, the negative things that his music did promote and the things that he talked and spoke about doing in his songs. But that's just due to the allure and the icon status that being a rapper gives to these individuals. And when you have a large portion of the black community, not all, but a large portion who thinks that that's cool, they look up to these people and they want to be like that, then yeah, of course, you're going to give them a pass. And it's normal when black on black crime happens, when you got black people doing injustices to other black people. It's normal. But when a white person does something to a black person, then we want to have a fit. Then we want to march. Then we want to, make this big outroar about it. And if you as a black person, you say anything about what you see, all of the negative things going on from blacks to blacks, then you a coon, you a Tom. And if you're a white person, you can't even call it out or speak on it at all. That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
This is no way to live. This dishonors our community. Come on. We're better than this.
Right. I feel like it's never addressed.
And what I would want to observe is that any structural move that you want to make requires a majority of the people to get behind it, requires democratic politics to get behind it. And in order to get a majority of the voters in Chicago or any place else to get behind anything that's going to cost them money, they have to feel safe. They have to feel that the people who are in charge are on their side. And that's why Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson needs to come and give speeches in which he says this is contemptible behavior. We won't tolerate it in our city. The reason we have cops is precisely in order to stop this from happening. And if you do it on my watch, you're going to go to jail.
Well, that would be nice if he did say that. That would be nice. But unfortunately, you know, Brandon Johnson is, and it's well documented, you know, in 2020, he was talking about defunding the police and reallocating funds and things like that. He ran on being a progressive and having this progressive agenda. You know, he's not about being tough on crime. You know, he, in his own words, in regards to the teen takeover that we saw in Chicago, a couple of weeks ago now, you know, he blames that type of crime and that type of activity. He blames that on the lack of opportunities, lack of resources, and a lack of investment. So, you know, really, the people who you got to talk to are the people who vote for this man, who vote for people like this, because, like I said, it was well documented that he is a progressive, you know, progressive type of guy, progressive politician. So to expect him to be tough on crime, knowing his stances previously, doesn't even make sense. Now what I'm about to say, I wouldn't wish this on Brandon Johnson, his family, or anyone, but it almost seems like they would have to go through something personally, be personally affected by this crime and you know, all of this madness going on for them to come out with a stance that strongly about it. So you got to take issue with the voters, the people who vote these guys in as well. You can't vote for a ultra super progressive candidate and expect a tough on crime approach. Just those things don't even go hand in hand nowadays.
He needs to say that in order to get the white taxpayers in the city not to move out of the city and to get behind whatever structural program a clever man like Danny comes up with.
But, I mean, okay, so I also read this week in the paper, one in 3 children in America cannot read at a basic level of comprehension. 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. We already spent a lot of money on schools. So you're going to keep telling me more money will fix this? Because I feel like this is much more connected to the problems of people who can't read. Yes, they're going to have problems with gainful employment. And it seems like, you know, a lot of times the solutions that come from the left seem symbolic. They don't seem like we're actually addressing what really needs to be done, is get kids learning, get them reading, get them able to have a job. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's true. Get kids learning. If they know that there's opportunity in the world of education and through getting smarter where they can get that gainful employment, like Bill Maher just said, then maybe they'd be less likely to take up arms and start selling drugs and start doing things like this. It's unfortunate because, you know, these schools that get a lot of this money, they get it because of the low proficiency that these students have. So we keep hearing more money, more incentives, more opportunities, and we continue to funnel the money there. But what is actually improving? Nothing. So yeah, guys, shout out to Bill Maher for discussing this on his show. And it's the reason why they come at people like him, white and black, for speaking about this issue. That's the reason why we keep seeing the same things, these same things over and over again, and nothing is changing and nothing's getting better because we want to place the blame somewhere else where it isn't. Let's talk about the issue and really get down to the bottom of this. But that's all we got for the video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when you're out the door. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.